This car we've been waiting for a while with bated breath. And though it's taken quite some time to arrive, it's finally here. Today we're taking a look at this, the Tesla Model 3 Performance. And is this new Model 3 Performance worth the wait? Let's find out. Now, starting off by the front, if you haven't seen, you can click here for the full review on the Tesla Model 3 Highland. Today, we're going to be talking about what's different in this new Model 3 Performance. Today's episode is brought to you by Sgcarmart Smart Loan. Sgcarmart Smart Loan is designed to save you time and money through a digitalized loan application via MyInfo for your used car purchase at below market interest rates. For a limited time only, get $500 cashback and a 6-month Kinto membership worth $1,200 when you apply for a loan today. To find out how much you can save when buying a used personal or private hire car, click on the link in the description below now. Now let's find out more about this car. Up front, you're going to get a black new lip down below, as well as new side diffusers to send air towards the wheels and brakes. New 20-inch warp wheels on the side in a staggered formation for more grip and better performance. Over on the inside, by the sport seat, you're going to get a new ludicrous emblem, a little reference to a movie called Spaceballs.
What the hell was that?
We've gone flat speed.
The previous seats were a bit nondescript. Now, what you're going to find on the rear is also a little emblem telling you that this is the performance model, along with the signature black wing up top and a new fiercer diffuser, giving this car a lot more character. The Tesla Model 3 electric performance is priced at $252,000. The dual electric motors produce 618 brake horsepower and 730 Newton meters of torque. The single-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 3.1 seconds. The 78 kWh battery has a drive range of 528 km with a maximum DC fast charging rate of 250 kilowatts. For more details on the Tesla Model 3 electric performance or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Now, does this car drive as well as it looks? Only one way to find out. So, driving the 2024 Model 3 Performance, what does it feel like? Well, it's bigger, better, and faster. So 3.3 before, 3.3 was insanely quick, especially the first time that the Model 3 Performance came in. That was mind-blazing because nothing else was around yet. Back then, if you wanted an EV, you had your Model 3 and then you had your Polestar 2, and that's it. And Polestar 2 Performance was nowhere near this level of 3.3 and dual motor. And then the Model 3 Performance came in with the Model 3 3.3, and that was mind-blazing. I think one of the key tricks of the Model 3 you'll see whenever they pass, whenever people test drive it, it is of course that, because even with its dual motors, no matter what speed you're at, of course when you are going from 0, that's the biggest and people don't expect it. But when you are even going on 80, 70 on the highway, just tap it in. And to me, that so far has always been the signature of a Tesla Model 3. Because by now, we've seen so many performance EVs, we've seen so many dual motor EVs, and if you discount those that high-end and twice the price of a Tesla Model 3 Performance, then typically they don't give you that raw amount of torque straight out. And this is something that you get with the Model 3 Performance. This is head-slapping torque, instantly delivered, and that is just a hallmark of the Model 3 Performance's performance. And back then, the Model 3 Performance first came out, it was something of a steal because this kind of 3-second plus century sprint and this amount of power and torque was limited behind supercars and hypercars. But the Model 3 Performance was something that made it very, very accessible. And this time, it is still roughly about the same price, if you give or take, excusing all the COE differences. And still, from 3.3 seconds this time, it's slightly larger, it's slightly more cleaned up. Of course, you get the Model 3 Highlands looks, right? But you also get different rear diffuser and of course that ludicrous back. Now, if you don't know what ludicrous is, you need to check out Spaceballs.
My brains are going into my feet.
And it gives you a little bit of an idea into Elon Musk's mind, into what he meant when he put that all around the car.
I mean, basically our product plan is stolen from Spaceballs.
If you catch that reference, it is literally exactly what that means, and that is what this Model 3 delivers. And in terms of performance, they have an improved rear motor with the same front motor. So this time, from 3.3 seconds, which was already ridiculously quick, it's down to 3.1 seconds. It's almost 3 seconds flat on an everyday sedan at a relatively everyday price that wouldn't relatively break the bank. This is the flagship in the lineup currently here, and this takes the cake. So in terms of ride comfort, you're going to get a little bit of improvement because the new Model 3 Performance gets a new set of rear adaptive dampers, and they can adjust the level of hard driving you're going to be taking. So if you open up the car, you can actually go into your dynamics. So if you are going into hard driving, and this time they have, of course, chill, standard and insane, and of course you get a few more configurables, which is a very welcome return from the departure when the Model 3 came out with the 110 kilowatt Cat A version that lost all of these. So it's whether or not you want your car to be slow, whether or not you want it to be performance, you need to have that customizability, because that gives you back that control of the car, and it's just something so little that means so much. Another key update, the performance model is just in time for its ASS Tesla Actually Smart Summon, which now allows users to control the car remotely, albeit from within 6 meters. So this is something like the Hyundai Palisade, the Ioniq 5, and also as per LTA's rules, as well as Auto Park, which makes use of Tesla's array of sensors to park the car safely, and I have to say quite quickly. It's also like Zeekr or Xpeng. Some other things that you get this time inside the Model 3 Performance is a track mode. So for those who want a little bit more fun, let's put a disclaimer, get it out of the way. The track mode should only be used on the track. Now that that's out of the way, if you go into track mode, you can toggle with a certain few items. You have to go into park before you can go into track mode, so that's a little bit of a safety feature. But you can control the amount of front and rear bias. You can control the toughness of the car, how it responds to your handling, as well as this one I really like. You can monitor all of the vitals within your car to make sure that it is track ready, or rather make sure that it is track healthy. You don't want to be pushing everything and then you hear something, see a warning light, and that's gone. So to me, this is really useful, and something that's super extra useful for those who aren't as technically skilled within the track mode is a drift mode. So because this has a dual motors, front and rear, like if you remember, think back to the Polestar 2 when they launched that Arctic edition. So they showed this electric vehicle, dual motor, right? So you have front control, rear control, sliding around the Arctic. And so that's something that comes with EVs. When you have dual motors, you get your front control and rear control. But this time, Tesla puts it within your hands. So if you go into your track mode and then you go into your drift mode, the name says it all. You can throw this around with confidence, tap on that power, that instant power ever so slightly, and the car still will kick out. How useful is it? 0. How functional is it? 0. How fun is it? 120. So, with all that said and done, is this new Model 3 Performance a will buy, won't buy, or go try? If you ask me, I think this is a will buy. It's about time this model came in, and even though it's not the cheapest on the market, if you go for the cheapest, and if you looked at the regular Cat B review that we did, and then if you looked at the Cat A model that we did, so it always comes back to these three, right? The Model 3, the Ioniq 6, as well as the Seal. And this time, for the performance variants, or rather the top performing variants, for the Seal it is some $237,000. For the Model 3, it is some $252,000. So it is quite a bit of delta in between these two models. But to me, when it comes to the performance models, there's no question about it. If you want to go for the performance, 3.3 before was already ahead by leaps and bounds. Now 3.1, it's no question. Things got better. You get improved looks, you get improved hardware on the inside, improved suspension, improved motors, and all around it just feels better. This is when it comes to the performance models. When it comes to the Cat A models, to me, it doesn't make sense. You're comparing 110 kilowatt to 100 kilowatt, which is faster. That's kind of a no-brainer. So to me, when you're comparing the Cat A models, it doesn't really make sense to compare which is that a little bit quicker. And to me, for that, comparing how economical it was a lot more sensible. But when it comes to the performance variants, you're looking at the top line. This is something that each brand is saying, this is what I can put forth. If you're buying into a Tesla performance, you're not just buying into a performance Model 3. You are buying into the fact that they made, among the three, the fastest of them. They made the toughest vehicle. And it's something of a prestige. So when you're driving this car, you're driving the sense, in between the three, you're driving that this is the fastest of the three every time you see it. This car makes you look at the seal performance and think, this car is better, this car is faster. Not in every sense, but in certain regards, you'll think like, yeah, there's no need to prove myself. Even though it's a slight bit more expensive to me, this Tesla Model 3 performance is a will buy. So that's it, that's our review of this Model 3 performance. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down in the comments below. As well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out, do leave in the comments and we'll read every single one of these. Now if you've made it this far, TP is making it a lot further. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads. And lastly, do follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.